to Lucas, absolute pleasure to have you here with Monopoly Events at Comic Con Liverpool. I know you've just had your panel. You said it was very emotional, reflecting on High School Musical, so I'll try and not make you cry on this one. I don't want to make you cry.
Oh, no.
But yeah, it must be very emotional hearing how you personally have impacted fans all across the world. You know, you come into a completely different country on a different continent and you're hearing how, you know, nearly 20 years ago, how much you've impacted people coming into their adult lives now. It must be crazy.
It is crazy. As soon as I think High School Musical is not going to surprise me, it and then surprises me yet again. All of these years later, I'm still shocked that it just keeps breathing new life, and it is because of the fans. And it's so lovely to be here at an events like this, so that I can meet them and have that special time to devote to, you know, sharing stories. And man, when someone comes up and brings their child with them and saying, I loved High School Musical when I was younger, and now I'm raising my kids and they love it. It's just like, I always knew it was special, but I didn't imagine when it came out, thinking back to that time, that we would be seeing this affect multiple generations. And it's just, it's amazing.
You know, pre the streaming age of Netflix, Amazon Prime, even Disney Plus, Disney Channel was absolutely huge for the time. You know, you wouldn't class it as direct to video because it was going on everyone's TV screens. The viewership figures were absolutely insane. The hype before High School Musical at the time, the trailers on TV, you were seeing it all the time. Did you even envision the franchise it was going to become when you were filming on set? I'm guessing you had to go through a very big audition process as well.
Yeah.
Just talk me through the time prior to High School Musical to then, you know, weeks after it had aired.
Yeah, no, we had no idea it was going to be what it was. Disney didn't know either. They didn't, each of the movies was its own contract. We didn't have to sign picture deals or anything. And yeah, I mean, I got the callback for the untitled Disney High School Musical project, and I was like, yeah, this is probably never going to happen. But, you know, hey, whatever. I grew up doing theater, so it seemed like it might fit. And didn't hear back for a long time. And so I thought it was, you know, they had passed or gone with someone else. And then I got the call, and it was amazing. And when shooting the film, you know, the script without the music and the dance numbers is, you know, it's fine. It's like a Disney Channel movie. What made it special for us on set, Kenny was really, you know, his true ability is adding magic to just a regular moment. And we were always trying to create these magical moments and it was much easier to do during these amazing musical numbers. And so all of us, we became a very tight-knit family very quickly. You know, when you're rehearsing and you're singing together and all of this stuff, it bonds you. And we knew that there was something special, but not in a way that it was going to be a worldwide phenomenon success. We thought, oh, this is just going to be like we're going to look back on this in a long time and be like, man, remember that little musical movie we did? Yeah. But then, you know, when it hit number 1 on iTunes, and then, you know, they're calling us to go to New York to do Good Morning America and the Today Show, and they're like, Lucas, you're going to teach all the kids in America how to do the high school or the We're All in This Together dance, and everything just ramped up from 0 to 100 and overnight, and it was overwhelming for me, too much for me. I was like, oh, my career is going to be a long, slow burn of working really hard and trying to, you know, get a little movie and then a TV show and then this, you know, like work your way up. But it just didn't happen that way. And yeah, like I said, it was overwhelming, but so fortunate to have people around us to also remind us to take moments to capture the mental pictures and cherish the moments, because it flew by. I mean, we lived so much life in that 3 or 4 year period. of just movie, tour, press tour, movie, recording studio, event, all of these things. It was a whirlwind. But yeah, I'm so grateful that we did get to, or at least me, take a moment every now and then to just kind of be like, wow, this is crazy. And there's that, but then again, there's these events where I get to share stories, and then someone tells me a story and makes me reminds me of another time, and that is it's so helpful to have that gratitude even more of looking back and feeling the love and remembering the great things that happened, because it just doesn't happen to very many people. We are all very, very lucky to have been a part of something so special.
You mentioned how understandably overwhelming that initial experience was, from going to not being in the spotlight to being absolutely everywhere worldwide. And, it was lucky that if you were overwhelmed, that you had an ensemble of castmates who were going through the exact same thing. Yeah. You obviously had a sister in the movies in Ashley Tisdale. Was she a sister to you off screen as well? And how close were you with the rest of the cast during that whole process?
I mean, perfect example. We were a family, full of their, bickering and problems and drama and love and laughter and everything. Yeah. Ashley definitely brought Sharpay off the screen a little bit.
Bit of a diva.
Well,
you
no,
can say it.
it's not that she was a diva. She just treated me like Ryan, and I had to remind her earlier on, hey, those are just our characters, right? Like that's not actually we're not actually, I'm not actually in your shadow. Like I'm my own person too. But I always say one of my favorite quotes is from Mr. Rogers. Said, "You can learn to love anyone once you've heard their story." And once over time, once I got to know Ashley more and more, my love for her deepened, and she is my sister. She will always be my sister. And Corbin is my brother, and Zach is my brother, and Monique is my sister. Like we are a family. Vanessa is so close to me. We may not see each other all the time, but when we do, it's like no time has passed, and it's a beautiful thing. I do get to see Corbin a lot these days, and I'm so grateful for that, because he is just one of the best people in the world. So I'm grateful that we get to share our lives today together as well as back in the day.
When was the last time you all met up and saw each other together? And is it crazy to see the people that you are today? Because you were just kids back then when that first film was coming out.
All 6 of us together has been well over 10 years.
Wow.
Long time. But Monique and Corbin and I and Bart Johnson and Casey Stroh, I see pretty regularly. I see Chucky Claypool all the time. Kenny lives down the street from me, the director, Kenny Ortega. I see Bonnie Story and her daughters, who were both in the films, a lot. So there are times when there's little mini reunions, which I always say, anytime that there's 2 or more of us together in a room, like there's a feeling. It's just like a different weight in the room, because there is the joy and the reminiscence, but also just the heaviness of like what because you go through your life and you're like, oh yeah, you forget that happened to you and that changed your life because it's brought to you where you are. But then you get you get in the room with someone and it's just like, whoa, yeah, oh man, because they'll remind you of something that you had forgotten about, or vice versa, and it's just like, wow, what an amazing, insane, crazy experience we went through, and no one else knows what it was like except for us, and it's really special.
Is there anything that a fan has said to you over this weekend alone that has really touched your heart?
Today, a person came up to me named Socks, and they said that they changed their gender because of me. And you said you weren't going to make me cry. They said that, Ryan was such an important character for them because they were also like Ryan, trying to figure things out in high school, and they would wear fedoras. They had a fedora or a cap for every day of the week, and dressed like Ryan, and really connected with that character. And they said they almost changed their name to Ryan. They went with Socks, which I think is a great name. But it was very touching. I told them that, when I read the script and I started talking to Kenny Ortega about it, I was like, okay, so Ryan's gay, right? And he was like, well, that would be the easy way of going about it. But in High School Musical, this movie is about giving representation and allowing different people of all walks of life in a high school setting to be seen. And we've got a lot of things covered so far. And one thing that I think Ryan is going to represent is people trying to figure things out and not knowing who they are just yet. And I think a lot of us deep into our adult lives still are trying to figure out who we are. But I think that's a beautiful thing that I got to help create and be a part of, that character who is representing a lot of us who are just trying to figure things out and who we are, and doing our best. And sometimes we're in the shadow and sometimes we're in the spotlight, but it's in between the shadow and the spotlight that we find our true selves. So
awesome. I really appreciate the time. I did say I wasn't going to make you cry, but that is a tremendous story, and you should be very proud of how you've touched people's lives over the years.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.